This is the GAOMON S620, which is a drawing tablet that I picked up from, I think I bought it on AliExpress because it was the best price on AliExpress, and it was about $26 Swedish crowns, 260 Swedish crowns, thereabouts. So it's a very cheap drawing tablet, and drawing tablets can be quite pricey, especially if you want the more premium brands like Wacom, and others. But this one is different brand and it's cheaper, and I bought the small one, I think, and I read a little bit about this, and they were quite it should be enough with small, and I'll get back to that. But as you've seen in this unboxing, I kind of unboxed it, but I had already opened and used it, so you can see here on the tablet that it's a bit scratched up already, but that's fine. Of course, when I got it, it was in very good condition. And so what you got were some extra nibs, some sort of USB converter things, I guess, if you have USB-C, but I don't use that. So I'm using that micro USB port, and it's a good fit. And then you also get this pen, and you get some sort of cover for it as well. And on the side you can see the glove, which artist's glove is what they call it, but I'm not sure what it's being used for. And on the pen you get two buttons, so you can click on two locations. I think it's usually the middle button if you compare it to a mouse, for instance. But I've used it, and it's quite handy to use that middle click. You can use it for various things. Now when I see it, there's two buttons, but I only use one, so I'm not sure about the other one. But anyway, you get a lot of stuff in this box, and I think you get a good quality tablet. You can see also there's 4 buttons as well, and you can create hotkeys for these buttons, I assume. But it's, as you can see, it's a small version, but it's quite big anyway, and I haven't had any issue drawing anything, any shapes or anything like that, that it would be too small. I get some sort of issue when I first use it, is that it's almost like you can't reach, like you translate those movements on the tablet to the screen, and the screen is larger pretty much, so you kind of misses a little bit if you get too far out from where you're starting to draw or click, because you can use it as a mouse as well, but not a big deal. If you use it, you'll see what that is. You have to move your hand a little bit, but for what is and I mean that's when you're using it as a mouse or controlling the mouse more, then it can be a little bit not perfect, but when you're using it for drawing, it's working. I didn't have any issues with that, so it works quite well. And there's like something like 8,000 pressure points, which I think is quite high amount for a tablet. So for the price, I think it's good. There were tablets with a lot fewer, like 2,000 or something like that, and they were supposedly very good as well. So I think you don't need that many, but if you got them, I guess it's great. And what can be said about that thing uh, when you're using the tablet as a mouse? And some things were not perfect. I guess you could adjust that maybe in a sort of setting file. I'm using Linux, and I just plugged in this and I haven't changed anything because I haven't gotten around to customize things yet. And I was just happy to kind of try it out and see if I could draw some stuff and work a little bit in the with some photo editing. And as you can see here, I'm using it for some tracing tracing a picture, and it works quite well. I haven't done that in a long time, so I'm not even sure if I'm working on the correct layer or the setup of the layers and so on, but I just experimented a little bit and managed to create some sort of image. But the idea is to put two layers, like one background layer with a lower opacity or transparency, and have the picture layer underneath. Uh, yeah, you can get to see a little bit of the picture shining through, and then you can just trace the lines, and it can be a good exercise, but it can also create some pretty cool pictures and whatnot. You can use filters for this, of course. There's some stuff that makes things more cartoonish, or you get the outlines or the kind of illustrative effects, like illustration filter types, I guess exists. But using it by hand, you're kind of doing it manually. You get a sense for the shapes and so on, and you can really get everything more. It's like more freehand in a way. Of course, you have the lines, but you also need to think about which lines you want to use and so on. But I think it's quite fun, although it takes a while. And then at this zoom level, you can see that the shapes are kind of they're not perfectly round, for instance, but when you zoom out, it looks a little bit better. But the more careful you are, the better the result. But I think it's quite fun to just play with this and see the kind of shapes you get, and like you can also manipulate the if you get more hard or straight lines or not so soft lines, you can also use filters to kind of smooth it out a little bit. And of course, you can also convert this to maybe black and white, and then you can do some sort of you can convert it to Bezier curves for use in like Illustrator or Inkscape, for instance. The more yeah, I guess it's yeah, that type of images. Not pixel graphics, what it's called. I can't remember what it's called now, but you can also do that, and it should work fine. So here you can see a little bit more when it's zoomed out, and you can see that the lines look a little bit better when it's zoomed out. But for this type of job, just creating some sort of illustration, this drawing tablet is working great. So I have no complaints, and you can see also if you want to fill in some stuff by hand, not like using the paint bucket or something, you can do that, and you can kind of like get some more painting vibes to your images, which can be quite fun, without having to pull out those real colors, all the mess of the colors. And here in the computer, you can just create this stuff and have different settings for the paintbrush and all that stuff. So it's a lot of fun. So what do I think of this drawing tablet? Ultimately, I think it's a good drawing tablet. Haven't had any issues. It's there's no batteries, so it's you don't. The only thing you need to attach is the USB cable to power up the tablet, and the pen is non no battery, so it works with some sort of um, technology, I think. So it just needs to have that pen close to the tablet, and it can detect its motions. So that's a great thing. I think it's a good feature, and so far I have no complaints. You got extra nibbles, and I guess in the future you might need to change them. But so far I've only used it for a couple of days, and I haven't seen much wear or tear, wear and tear, and so therefore I think it seems to be working great, and I can recommend this tablet. Of course, if you want something better, you might invest in something more of a premium brand. But using this, I think, might be a good way to start, and like an entry level drawing table, I think it's fine, and you will probably get a lot of hours out of it.